So next up, so we have the one and only Jason Judd. Jason has also been working on a book about the CCC. He dug through the archives and found lots of interesting moments and memories.
And he's here to share some exciting insights into creative campaigning. So our history is not only written in reports, but in songs, street theater, and in fearless protest. Let's welcome Jason with all energy we can.
Hello. So, a fashion brand designs a shoe or a shirt. It hunts for a cheap but competent supplier. It does a deal. Workers make the product. The order ships. People in Europe or the US, they buy it or they don't. When we see the process this way at a distance, the great forces of globalization can look a little mundane, a little boring. But it matters who makes the decisions about what products get made and where and how, under what conditions. It matters to apparel workers and their families. It matters to the employers, to their governments, to the buyers, to their investors. Now, what happens when workers and their allies have their own ideas about what should be made and where and under what conditions? Ideas about how the industry is organized. And they have not just some ideas, but some leverage, some power to make their ideas stick. The Clean Clothes campaign has shaped and studied and then reshaped the way apparel is made and traded over the last 35 years. It's one of the most experienced and punchiest, scrappiest networks of campaigners anywhere in the world of work. And the network has moved the frontiers of campaigning. They've rewritten the rules, some of them public, some of them private, national and global, and helped build institutions to protect workers and to strengthen their hands. And, importantly, they've done it with style. So in the book that I'm writing about the Clean Clothes campaign, we'll share the stories of leaders and campaigns that matter. These are first-hand accounts from some of you here in the room, each from a different place and a different time in the network's history. And we'll combine the stories that you're telling with images of leaders and campaigns, and we're especially interested in the images of actions and campaign artwork. We're aiming to bring out strong and clear the voices of leaders, most of them women, and most of them from the Global South. And finally, we'll share in this book some testimonies from the Clean Clothes campaign's allies and some of your reluctant admirers, people who have worked with or have fought with the network over the years and have learned in one way or another to respect the network and its approach. Okay, so there are three big questions that we're going to try to answer in this book. The first is, what do leaders think about what works and what doesn't to help workers build power in the global apparel trade? And second, how has their thinking about power and what it takes to win changed over the last 35 years? And then finally, for people who have worked in the network, have been part of these campaigns, but have moved on. Some of them are government ministers or exiled activists. What did they learn in the network and in these campaigns that they're still putting to work today? Okay, that sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. So, okay, but besides the handful of us, who's going to want to read this book? Well, we think there's more than a handful of us, more than just the Clean Clothes campaign supporters and members. Issue campaigners of all types, human rights and labor specialists, students working on global trade, readers interested in how art and campaigns interact. You telling me my time's up? Okay, thank you. Journalists, researchers, fashion CEOs. We're going to send a few copies of these books to the people we think might need to read them the most. Sourcing directors, CSR types, sustainability types. And students, including business students, maybe especially business students, and new organizers, new campaigners. We want them all to hear this story, but it's not going to be an academic book. It's an oral history and a sort of a graphic history using images from some of the Clean Clothes campaign's most iconic fights. For example, the Playfair campaigns, the Olympics campaigns of 2004 and 2008, 2012, the Ali Enterprise campaign, 2012 to 2018, the fights for the Accord, first in Bangladesh and now in Pakistan, North Sales in Sri Lanka, FFI in India, wages campaigns everywhere, and then finally the Pay Your Workers campaign, including the action against Adidas in Berlin with the Yes Men. Okay, so some of this may be familiar to you, those of you in the room, but it'll be new to others. And we're hoping that in the book you'll see things, you'll read and see things that you have not read or known before. I'm going to finish with something that Mike Bonanno is one of the founders of the Yes Men, one of the organizers of that event in the Berlin fashion show. That's the event in which the CCC and the Yes Men named, Adidas named a co-CEO who was a Cambodian former garment worker. Here's what Mike said about working with the Clean Clothes campaign. He said, "We try to develop fun and funny and entertaining and interesting content, but it's not always funny. I use the term poetic because in social movements, often the things that are remembered are the poetic gestures. They don't have to be funny. They can be meaningful. They can resonate with people. And they usually operate on a symbolic level. The classic example in American history is Rosa Parks, sitting on the bus, or the lunch counter sit-ins, the tactics of civil disobedience. Refusing to give up your seat, for example, on the bus is a performance. It's not just somebody saying no, it's somebody planning to say no, and doing it in a way that makes the rest of the world see it. People actually found the Adidas Berlin fashion show action moving. And that was the unexpected thing for me. This is what Mike said. That's when you realize that the joke that you're telling has this visceral undercurrent, this undertone that's resonating with people. These acts of civil disobedience become the stories and the mythology of the movement. When you see a movie about the life of Gandhi, it's one poetic action after another. It's Jesus riding into Bethlehem on a donkey. That was supposed to be a symbolic action. I think Mike's a Catholic. It wasn't an accident, and it was incredibly powerful.